Saturday on Denver 7, preparing for the worst so you can stay safe. The exercise happening in Douglas County today focused on protecting your future from wildfires.
Across Florida, as searches expand, the death toll from Hurricane Ian is sadly rising. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with that and another state now beginning recovery after Ian's latest landfall.
The student loan cancellation debate is back in the spotlight.
Our nation's finances are less secure because of the student loan bailout.
We're postponing owning our own homes because the weight of the student loan debt is just so much.
The latest pushback and changes to who's eligible ahead of forgiveness applications opening up this month.
Absolutely, I hate them too. You know, it's part of the game.
It's almost time to revisit the rivalry. The Broncos are facing off against the Raiders this weekend. Why a franchise-long feud is carrying into the Russell Wilson era for the team. Good morning and welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford. Here are some of the stories that we're following for you this weekend. First, Parker police are asking for your help. They now have this man, Aaron Corrado, in their custody. He's facing 10 different counts of alleged sex crimes involving children. Police say Corrado is the owner of Strength in Christ Athletes, and they encourage anyone who might have been a victim to contact them as part of their investigation. Mobile home owners now have more rights here in the metro. Legislation signed by Governor Polis this summer goes into effect today. The Protections for Mobile Home Park Residents is an amendment to a previous bill, and it puts a lot of changes into effect, and that includes mobile home owners. Well, they now have 6 months instead of 90 days to buy parks from landlords looking to sell the land. And if landlords do not maintain the park, they're now responsible for damage done to homes on the property. Plus, landlords are now required to meet with tenants twice a year. These new requirements follow a jump in out-of-state owners taking control of property and making rents unaffordable. There's a new health technology company making Denver its headquarters. This week, Virta Health announced that they're moving from California to the metro. Virta works to reverse type 2 diabetes without drugs. More than 900 jobs will be coming to the Denver area as a result of the move. And it is already that time of year. Trail Ridge Road is closed at the Rainbow Curve on the east side of the park and at the Colorado River Trailhead on the west side of the park now because of snow. We have Jason Luber here filling in for Katie this morning. And Jason, I know we were just talking about road closures and even snow.
Right, yeah, you can see that here, Jessica, at Rocky Mountain National Park. Look at all the snow. The snow level was around 10,500 feet, 11,000 feet, and you can see how much snow they have at Rocky Mountain National Park. It was actually quite snowy over Berthoud Pass on the overnight hours and Loveland Pass, and they actually had to break out the chain laws. Yeah, the chain laws, unfortunately. Of course, the computer system's not going to want to work for me right now because, you know, I'm doing this for the first day in a couple of years. We do have some more rain moving through the high country right now. As you're making your way up there in the high country, I'll just talk about it. And here in town, we're going to see a pretty good start to the day. We had some rain showers move through Metro Denver, and there's actually a little rain shower right now just a little bit east of Berthoud. There's actually some road construction up there that's slowing us down, too. So we'll talk more about the forecast. I'll get this computer system working for you here, and we'll talk more about all the rain that we're going to see later on this afternoon like we saw yesterday afternoon across Metro Denver.
Jason, thanks. We're turning now to post-tropical cyclone Ian. It made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in South Carolina yesterday, and this is a live look at the radar of the storm, and you can see that it's moving inland a bit and up towards New York right now. And there's another live look from South Carolina, and you can see traffic is moving as normal on the Arthur Ravenel Bridge after the storm landed about an hour away from this spot yesterday. We're now taking a live look in Tampa, Florida this morning. So this is I-75, and as you can see, it was very different last night. So take a look at this. Traffic was backed up for miles. These are all people who are trying to leave the Tampa area after Hurricane Ian destroyed parts of the western coast of Florida earlier this week. And as Ian is now the deadliest storm to hit Florida in 6 decades, with 33 lives now lost, there's more than 2 million people there without power. Here's ABC's Justin Finch with a look at the storm's path from Florida.
This morning, President Biden just approving a disaster declaration for North Carolina. Of course, a weakened Ian cut through the Carolinas on Friday after unleashing fury here in Florida, now facing years of recovery from Hurricane Ian. Ian making another landfall Friday near Georgetown, South Carolina, as a Category 1 hurricane with winds at 85 miles per hour. South of Myrtle Beach, Ian's powerful storm surge sending a wave of trash cans and debris through the streets.
Sheets of rain rushing into this garage as Ian roars ashore, making landfall here in South Carolina.
Meanwhile, in southwest Florida, Ian now the deadliest storm to strike the state in 60 years. Coast Guard helicopters scooping up survivors from once picturesque Sanibel Island, now cut off from the mainland, its causeway ripped apart by Ian.
Structure after structure, house after house. It seems like everything here on Sanibel Island sustained some kind of damage.
The storm sparking a 1 in 1,000 year flooding event.
Since the storm made landfall, we've saved 117 lives.
New body camera video showing deputies desperately trying to save a woman trapped in raging floodwaters, forming a human chain and using a rope, pulling that woman to safety, the water 10 feet deep. A special delivery Friday, more than 20 critically ill babies evacuated from a Fort Myers hospital, forced to use backup generators and running out of potable water. Some of those preemies airlifted to the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Hollywood, Florida.
We're here to support them, and it's a privilege. We know that these families have been through a catastrophic event.
Appalling damage now coming into sharper focus. Homes shattered, an army of power crews fanning out across Florida, racing to restore electricity. One official saying 90% of Fort Myers Beach is pretty much gone, ravaged by record storm surge. The president vowing the federal government will cover the cleanup costs and speaking with Florida's Governor DeSantis.
At times like these, Americans come together. They put aside politics. They put aside division, and we come together to help each other.
Though less intense, Ian is forecast to bring days of rain to the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Here in Florida, officials are just beginning to assess the damage and get residents back on their feet. Justin Finch, ABC News, Venice, Florida.
You can help people who are impacted by Ian. Denver 7 Gives is partnering with the Scripps Howard Fund for hurricane relief. So to donate, text STORM to 50155 and follow the prompts. You can also scan the QR code on your screen right now or visit denver7.com/hurricane relief. Preparing for the worst while hoping to never have to use those plans. People in Douglas County are going to get practice at evacuating for a wildfire today. Denver 7's Brandon Richard is live now, and the sheriff's office says this is going to feel very real, Brandon.
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. And we are at Sagewood Middle School. This will serve as sort of the command center for today's exercise. Now, we're expecting things to kick off here at around 9:45 this morning. Now, if you live in the Franktown area, you're going to see a lot of emergency vehicles with their lights flashing. You're going to hear their sirens. But remember, this is all just a test. Of course, wildfires are no stranger here to the folks in Douglas County. In recent years, this area has seen multiple fires that have sparked here and spread quickly. Some of those fires even threatening homes and forcing people to evacuate. The Douglas County Office of Emergency Management wants to make sure that everyone is prepared in case this happens again. That's why they're going to be simulating a wildfire, a fast-moving fire that we're told will start in the area of Highway 83 and Highway 86 and move into the Burning Tree subdivision. Now, this simulated fire will give emergency personnel an opportunity to test their systems and their response. We're also told that 30 to 40 homes will be participating. Homeowners and their families will be evacuating as if this were the real thing, so they'll be able to test their response. Of course, everyone is hoping that they never have to use this information, but it's better to have it and be prepared just in case. Again, everything kicks off here at around 9:45 this morning. We're live in Douglas County. Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
All right, Brandon, thank you. That's certainly going to bring back a lot of memories for a lot of people.
Well, it is October, and so that means you can apply for federal student loan forgiveness, but you'll want to double check if you're still eligible. The Biden administration scaled back for the forgiveness plan Thursday after 6 states sued. The changes in eligibility impact those who had private loans through the former Federal Family Education and Federal Perkins loan programs. You had to have your private loans consolidated by the 29th to be able to have those loans forgiven. And a recent study showed the Biden administration's plan to cancel student loan debt will cost an average of $30 billion a year over the next decade. Today is also an important day for those heading off to college. The FAFSA application opens up today, and our Nicole Brady spoke with the executive director of the Colorado Department of Higher Education about this form and how it works.
It's been a long time since I filled out the FAFSA. Walk me through how important that is.
Yes, so the FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So the federal government invests in students to go to college. And right now the FAFSA is about $7,000 of that you would get a year to go to college. Well, our community colleges average about $4,500 for tuition. So you literally could go tuition free.
The money can also help pay for books and fees, but less than half of Coloradans actually apply for the FAFSA. So you can learn more on the website, studentaid.gov, right there on your screen, and there is no age limit to apply. All right, Broncos Country, it is almost time to kick off against the Raiders in Las Vegas, and that's where you're looking at right now. Looking good out there, not quite as good as Denver though. But before kickoff at 2:25 tomorrow afternoon, our Broncos players were gearing up for this decades-long rivalry between the two teams.
So you just got to hop on that bandwagon. But, you know, as you can see from last year, you know, we really don't like them. They don't like us.
Absolutely, I hate them too. You know, it's part of the game. You know, it's just one of those teams, and you know they're fans. You know, whether they traveled from Oakland to Vegas now, you know, maybe not, but you know, it doesn't change. Our fans are the best in the league.
There's expected to be a sea of orange in Vegas tomorrow, if for no other reason than to see how former head coach Josh McDaniels does now that he's on the other side of the field. And remember, next Thursday night, the Broncos host the Colts, and you can watch the game right here on Denver 7. Our coverage starts at 5 p.m. Kickoff is just after that at 6. And after the game, stick around for live reaction and analysis right after the final whistle. A family from Mississippi is bringing good Southern cooking to the Denver metro. What they say sets their barbecue apart and where you can find them today. And if you're feeling thirsty, it's Beer Week, where you can enjoy the best lagers, IPAs, and more leading up to the Great American Beer Festival.